Good evening, and thank you to those of you who just watched the two videos shot last night that premiered just now on the Frank Addington channel. I will have some more specific ones being posted, or you can just check out the Frank Addington channel related to that. All right, so we have, this one is going to be the quarter point General Peters power rankings, top 10 power rankings for NFL teams. Every single team now has 4 games, has played exactly 4 games, and I think the bye weeks kick in this week, and so the halfway point videos will be posted probably after week 9. All right, so with week 4 in the books, and then week 5 starting tomorrow night, Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Here are Peter's top 10 NFL teams right now in the NFL, the power rankings. At number 10, I have an NFC East team, the Philadelphia Eagles at 2-2. They were down 24-0 last week. Looked really bad against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but they have a lot of things going for them this year. I see them really going on a nice run here starting this Sunday, unless they have a bye. But I still think they're a top 10 team. They were my NFC champion pick this year, and I got to stick with them, even though they didn't look good last week. All right, and then number 9, I have another NFC East team. This one is the first place Washington Commanders Skins at 3-1. At this rate, it's going to be, I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to get some head coaching looks for next year. He got his big revenge game last week against the Cardinals in the desert, taking on some of the players he used to coach, and then the coach that replaced him was a defensive-minded guy, and he absolutely destroyed the Cardinals. This right now, he can do no wrong. We'll see if he can keep it up this week against Johnny's Browns. But the story for this team has been the offensive line. Really has been this time last year, Sam Howell was getting sacked or pressured or hit on almost every single play, and somehow they have really revamped and done some great things. Brandon Coleman, left tackle, nice sneaky draft pick in the 3rd round, looking really good. All right, the number 8, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 3-1. The times I've seen them, they just look like a really solid team. Really one that can contend and win a game or two in the playoffs. 6 sacks on Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles, and on offense, they can just nickel and dime you to death. They have 2 big receivers, and they have an underrated tight end, and I kind of like their kind of sneaky backfield, especially with that rookie. And of course, Mayfield doing his thing. He's doing a heck of a job there in Tampa Bay. So I got the Buccaneers at number 8. They play tomorrow night against Andy's Falcons. That's a big game for the Buccaneers. Big game for the Falcons too. And number 7, a team I've been dogging a lot lately, but I still got them at number 7. The Buffalo Bills, 3-1. I just think they're a team that is going to win a lot of games. They are, I know I've mentioned them being a fraud, but Mr. September, Josh Allen, is also kind of Mr. October. And unless the wheels really come off, I think he's going to help lead them to, and that defense going to get them through October. They're going to be looking really strong. And right now, at 3-1, they had a real, devastating loss on Sunday night. But the Buffalo Bills, still a strong team. One of those top 3 teams, the AFC, top 3 or 4 teams. And so, got to stick them in the top 10. Number 7. Number 6, a little surprising. Some people might not like this, but the Pittsburgh Steelers at 3-1. And when that defense is on, it's going to be a long day for the opponent. Just from what I've seen on that defense for the Steelers, this is a team that can just win a lot of tight games, and they got just enough on offense to just do the job when called on. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 6. I like them more than the Bills right now. If they played head-to-head, I would take the Steelers, no matter where the game was played, because of that great defense they have. Number 5, the Houston Texans. This is the team I said was going to struggle and have sophomore slump as a team this year. They are, they're facing challenges. They're 3-1 though. They're just a loaded team, especially with like wide receivers. Once they clean up their penalties, they're really going to start to vault up there, possibly to number 1 in the AFC if they can just keep it going. So the Houston Texans right there at number 5. And then number 4, I got a 2-2 team. It's the Baltimore Ravens. That defense made life miserable for the Bills the other night, and not many teams out there are equipped to deal with that 1-2 punch on offense with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, solid offensive line. The Baltimore Ravens, I'd take them against pretty much any AFC or pretty much any team right now, not named the Chiefs. And Ravens, the team I had as just a wild card team this year. I had the Bengals winning the division, but the Ravens they look like they're one of the stronger teams in the NFL. So I got to put them as the number 4, the 4th team, a little better than the Texans. All right, number 3. On number 3, one of the undefeateds, the Minnesota Vikings at 4-0. Last Sunday they dominated the Green Bay Packers in the first half, and that defense knows how to create turnovers. They had to that's a tough thing to dominate Green Bay like that. I know they let him kind of come back into the game, but it's a game. The Packers are a very good team. Some people might have them in their top 10. I don't, but to do that against a division rival in Lambeau, where they struggled in recent years, very impressive by the Vikings. Let's see what they got this week against the Jets. All right, Jets, Jets. Can they go 5-0? Vikings, number 3 on the General Peters power rankings at a quarter point. All right, number 2 on this list I have for the quarter point, I got the Kansas City Chiefs, another undefeated team, 4-0. They have a lot of injuries right now. That's going to be a problem going in the next few weeks or so. They're going to have some adversity, of course, just like last year, but I still got them up there at number 2, and they've won all these tight games. No one knows how to close them out, but I still really like them as a Super Bowl contender. And then the number 1 team in the General Peters power rankings, the quarter point of the 2024 NFL season, is the 3-1 Detroit Lions. I feel like they have a defense that is going to start to improve. And speaking of, I mentioned Kingsbury as a head coaching candidate. Now, let me say this about Kingsbury quickly. I don't think he's going to be a good head coach, because I don't think he really has the desire to be a great head coach. I think he's a very good offensive coordinator. He likes to just kind of work with the playbook and that kind of thing. I don't think he has the intangibles to be a great head coach, but people are going to want that offensive mind. Now the Lions, with Ben Johnson, okay, so they got Ben Johnson. Who is Ben Johnson going to leave at the altar this year? 2 years ago it was the Panthers, and then last year it was the Commanders that were dressed up in their tuxes. They had the groomsmen right beside them. They had the music playing, and then they got a phone call from the plane going, no, I think I'm going to stay with the Lions. And so who's it going to be this year when someone comes calling for Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator? And I just like the coach with Dan Campbell. we have some unfinished business here. But I think Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, if he turns this thing around, he was a kind of a candidate last year to be a head coach. I think he got some interviews, but I think he will be another guy that they may lose this year if not Johnson, but Aaron Glenn. They drafted some good defensive players. They're going to improve on defense. And as far as the offense goes, I feel like I'm watching the greatest show on turf Rams of the late 90s, early 2000s when I watch the Lions. I'm serious about that. There's a lot of similarities to that. I mean, it's just complete explosion. It seems like every time they have the ball, it's real exciting to watch. Because of that and their dominance the other night, the Detroit Lions, I got them, the 3-1 team, is the number one team after 4 weeks in the NFL season. You do not see the Saints here. You do not see the 49ers, Jackass Jay. You do not see the Packers. And you don't see the 3-1 Seahawks. So, not impressed. Those are teams on the fringe there. But, all right. There's my teams at the quarter point. The power rankings: 10 Eagles, 9 Commanders, 8 Buccaneers, 7 Bills, 6 Steelers, 5 Houston Texans, 4 Ravens, 3 Vikings, 2 Chiefs, and 1 Lions. All right, well, remember that list. I'll see you after about week 9. We'll do the halfway point power rankings. See what's changed then. See what teams may have left the top 10, what teams are entering the top 10s, who shifted where. Thanks for watching, and I will see you for the mailbox walk video. Later, guys.